101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lost today by a final score of 4-2 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They'll be back in action on Thursday or on Wednesday, taking on the Islanders. Pregame starts at 6 p.m. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll dive into today's game on the Fast Lane coming up next, so don't go anywhere. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Over to the far side with it. Nice, trying to send it up, and that'll do it. Time winds down, and the Blues fall short 2 games in a row on home ice. After a brilliant opening game on this homestand, they cough up the next 2 and give back the equity they had earned. 4-2 the final. Leafs beat the Blues.
Let's get nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. 3:32. It's weird. 3:32. Your time check's brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers.
Check, didn't you?
I did. I'm like, 3:32. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, we had the Blues on today. Unfortunately, they lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just a totally uninspired performance, I thought, by the Blues today, gentlemen. They lose 4-2 to Toronto.
Yeah.
They did have, for a brief second there, you thought maybe they would have an opportunity to tie it, and they did. They did have the opportunity to when they scored to make it 3-2. They had the goaltender pulled when it was 3-1. They score about a minute left, have an opportunity to maybe keep it in their end. They didn't. Puck goes the other way. A total penalty that wasn't called. Foul that wasn't called. Toronto gets the empty net goal on that same play, and they wound up winning 4-2. But again, I thought the last 2 performances by the Blues totally uninspired.
Yeah, so Alec Burleson today, Mason Wynn, batting practice down in Jupiter.
We're talking about the Blues.
I was really getting into it because Alec Burleson looks like he's tweaked his
Jamie,
what?
We're going to stop you right there.
Okay.
Talking about the St. Louis Blues, not the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah. Oh.
The Blues just played. Alex
Did
and
they?
those guys just had a post-game show and everything.
But did
Different
they?
teams, different colors.
Same
All right.
city.
Okay, if we're going to have to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Now, Anthony, you're right. I feel like the last 2 games, I hate saying uninspired. I hate it because it's like this team is in a playoff battle. They're still in the wild card spot, but they could have really distanced themselves in a good way. You come up with a big effort against the Predators, if you did, by the way, come up with a big effort against the Predators and get that win. You're 6 points ahead of them with a game in hand. Then you get the Toronto Maple Leafs who come in here. You know how they're going to play. They've got high-end skill. Everything is off the rush for the Maple Leafs. So what does that tell you? It means don't turn the puck over. Mm-hmm. Don't manage the puck well. Get it down low. Work it down below the goal line as much as possible. No, we're just going to pass.
And hem them in.
We didn't really.
No.
The Blues didn't hem them in for maybe a couple of times throughout the game, but not for an extended period of time. And then, your power play, the first unit, they were executing, but I don't know if they were executing with a purpose. Meaning like they're passing to the guy who's open, but no, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Not sure what we're going to do from here. He's open. I'll give him the puck. What's he going to do? I don't know. I gave him the puck. Let's see what he does. Got to have a purpose. And I thought the physicality, too. Like, the last 2 games in particular, and look, this is not about me at all, but I'm down between the benches for the Nashville game. I've got a certain intensity. Like, I'm sitting there talking to some of the training staff saying, I absolutely love these games. This is what I miss. Mm-hmm. I miss playing games like this. Mm-hmm. The camaraderie and all that stuff is great. I miss the locker room, miss the guys. Yeah, but you miss those intense matchups against a division rival that actually mean something. And I was like, some guys were like kind of sort of into it. Some guys weren't. And it's like, man, it sucks that it's right now to where they've had a couple of hiccups with the way they're playing, because this is the time where you could have really made a difference in the standings in a positive way for yourself.
Watching the game, I just feel like, as you said, Jim, you're there. And I actually thought the Nashville game, they were hitting people. They were a little bit more. That one felt like
it took a while, though.
Yeah, it did.
Nashville had to punch them in the mouth so many times.
And they finally started to hit back. that game did feel like a playoff atmosphere. Watching it from start to finish, you could feel the energy even just sitting there watching it. Today kind of just felt like they were kind of skating out there just to be there.
It's a weird start time. Obviously, noon is probably not optimal for anybody, but both teams had to deal with it. And, you know, those are the games where you can kind of lull yourself to sleep, and that's kind of what happened. Like, those are the games where you want to have your identity players come out and just stir up crap.
Yeah.
Like, first shift of the game, go and hit somebody.
Yeah.
Go get in somebody's face just to pull people, to drag your guys into battle. Force them to be in the battle with you, or force them to look like they're so out of it that they should be benched.
The thing I find interesting when you watch a nationally televised game, you hear how they talk about other teams in comparison to how they talk. I mean, Austin Matthews, obviously, he's going to get talked about a lot because he's really dang on good. But I think the Blues, and I've said this before, you still need that star player. The person that when people are watching nationally, oh yeah, I got to watch this team because of that player. I still don't know that we have that player just yet. Maybe it's on the horizon, but until, just my opinion, and hockey is probably different, but I think you need a superstar or a guy that is on the verge of being a superstar. That's when you start getting talked about nationally in a way that other teams with those superstars do.
Yeah, so, I mean, if we're going like directly like head-to-head with some of the teams we've played here recently, yeah, you can't compete with that star power.
Right.
You know, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl with Edmonton, and then today Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, like the list goes on and on for those guys, William Nylander.
Right.
You know, the Predators don't really have that guy. The Predators are relatively unknown nationally as well, but I think Robert Thomas is that guy.
Okay.
Like, he's not there yet to where every highlight on ESPN or TNT, every highlight package consists of like a Robert Thomas goal or a Robert Thomas play. Like, you know who those guys. You've got your Nathan McKinnons, your Connor McDavid, your Austin Matthews. You're not getting the Robert Thomas clip just yet, but I feel like it's getting there.
Okay.
Carey, you mentioned that they don't have like a superstar. I don't think they have killer mentality. They have an opportunity to tie the game on a power play, and then they give up a shorthanded goal.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the microcosm of this Blues season. You think they have an opportunity to go and do something with the man advantage and get back in the game, and then it's in the back of your net. That's what this team is when they're not consistent, and it's frustrating to watch.
Well, it's frustrating too, because you saw that game against Edmonton and it had that playoff feel to it, and they just can't carry that momentum. And I even said last week that I feel like we know what we're going to get from an effort standpoint, a performance standpoint, and then the very next day they got crushed by Nashville, and then today happened. So now we're right back into the same mode of we don't know what sort of performance we're going to get on a game in and game out basis.
But I think that you talk about the killer instinct. Superstars usually have that.
That's true.
Well, that's why they're superstars.
Exactly. They are the guys that, you know what, we're not losing this game. If I have to drag you all into the fight with me, force you to fight, whatever we have to do to get this game won. And I don't, at times, and today was one of those times, you just don't see that from the St. Louis Blues. You don't feel like there are people dragging each other into the fight. And that...
Not enough.
Yeah.
I'll agree to that. I was, on my way in here today thinking to myself, like, how do you approach critiquing this team right now? For me, just my inner monologue. And I'm like, they don't drag each other into battle. And the guys that do try and drag, they end up sometimes on an island. Like, what was it last game? I forget if it was Jake Neighbors or maybe it was Sammy Blais. Ended up in the crease with 5 Nashville jerseys and not one other Blues jersey. Like, that can't happen.
Right.
Like, no matter what. And you don't have to fight. I'm not saying you go get a fight. No.
Yep.
You got to be a band of brothers, though. You have to be right there.
Yeah.
Like, 5 guys in every scrum. That's Jimmy Roberts. God rest his soul. That was one thing he absolutely harped on from the first day I ever played for him in the minors. One guy in, all guys in.
Right.
And he's like, and he goes, listen, for you guys who don't like to fight, that's the best strategy. because at least you got all your guys
Yeah,
right there. Otherwise, you're going to get hung out to dry where someone's going to pluck you out of the pack and you're all by yourself. You're going to wish that your other guys on the ice were with you.
Right.
So he'd say one guy in, all guys in. And you just, I'm not seeing that right now. And all that does is it creates a certain intensity for your team. It creates a certain vibe and an energy. And it sends a message to the other team, too. Like, these guys are ready to roll, man. Mm-hmm. I really like this team. I just wish they had more of that fight on a consistent basis. And obviously this is why they're hovering in and around the second wild card spot and why they're not higher up in the standings. But I think if you're looking at this team overall and you're Doug Armstrong, you have to start dissecting, what pieces maybe don't fit and what pieces do fit. Maybe there's a guy that's playing right now where you didn't think you see him in a Blues jersey a year or two from now, but maybe he should be. So there's going to be a lot of evaluation going on here between now and the trade deadline, especially with the team now going up and down and all around. I think Army's going to be sitting there, and all the scouting staff is going to be very, very busy as the deadline approaches.
So the Blues are off for the next couple of nights. They'll take on the Islanders on, Thursday, I believe. Pregame at 6 o'clock. Yeah, 2:22 Thursday. Blues-Islanders pregame at 6 o'clock. So next couple of days, unfortunately, sit on the last two performances as the Blues fall 4-2. We've got more coming up on the Blues. We'll hear from Drew Bannister and some of the players following the game, get some of their thoughts. But was Nolan Arenado listening to the show on Friday? Because he came out with some comments either a day or two later that would indicate that he was probably listening.
Somebody told him.
Somebody told him. We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
Boys, the NBA just had their All-Star game, and Damian Lillard, did he go off, huh?
He did.
Unbelievable.
Surprised he didn't try to shoot one from the concourse.
It was pretty close.
Yeah, he tried.
Well, if he would have, FanDuel probably would have had a prop bet for him. That's why they're America's #1 sports book. And right now, FanDuel's taking care of all new customers. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. And Carey, all that means is you get $150 if your bet wins.
Yeah, and you can bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams. Second half of NBA is about to start. You talked about the All-Star break ending. That's quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/fast to shoot your shot.
Again, that's FanDuel.com/fast. And if you're a new customer, you get the $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Anthony, I was over at Mentality this morning, and as always, it's such an enjoyable experience. The staff over there are amazing at what they do, and it brought me back to the very first time I went in there. You're kind of nervous. You're not really sure what to expect. Things haven't been going well. You're maybe a little overweight, not feeling great, wondering why. The very first person I talked to over there was Angel. She did a great job of, walking me through the process. And then they do the blood panel. And I found out I was low on testosterone and other vitamins as well. And it was life-changing for me from many, many ways. But just having the right program that was specifically designed for me has changed so much.
Well, they're there to help. That's the thing. But you have to take the first step. You have to walk in there. And Jamie, you had recommended Mentality to me, and I said, I don't know. No, I'll figure it out. Right? I'll do this. I'll change up my diet. I'll change up my sleep. I'll change up this. Yeah, you can do all that, and you should. But it's a lot of times you do need help. And if you are low on testosterone, you can have all those feelings, and then you also don't feel like there's any hope for you. But with Mentality, they put you on a program. It's easy. They do a great job of following up consistently to make sure that you are in healthy ranges and there's nothing else under the surface that's going on. You're going to the doctor consistently, right? So you might as well do something that's going to benefit you in the long run, and that certainly is Mentality. It was for Jamie and I.
Yeah, so please visit either the South County location or the Chesterfield location. When you do, tell them that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. They've been taking care of people who do say that, so please make sure you do say that and visit them online at lowtusa.com. That's our friends over at Mentality, lowtusa.com.
Tuned into the show on Friday, we had a full show, almost a full show, dedicated to some comments made by Nolan Arenado about Matt Carpenter being added to the clubhouse. And yeah, it's going to be nice to have Matt around because he's somebody that's going to get in somebody's face and hold them accountable. And we kind of had the whole question of, wait a minute, shouldn't that be you too? Or
Should be at least part of it.
But we did have and I had made the comments of, okay, well, then he's not a leader. And I didn't say that critically. I just said that matter-of-factly.
Well, it is kind of a criticism.
It's a criticism if you just assume that he should be the leader. But I don't think leaders are cut that way. I think guys that you want to follow. I mean, he should be one from like a playing standpoint. But you guys know better than anybody. You don't have to be a starter to be a leader. You don't have to be even a veteran sometimes. As long as he's been in the league. To say, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and follow you. You want to follow guys that are going to inspire you or they're going to show you how it's done or make you feel, supported.
Well, I think if you're one of the best players on the team, you are a leader by default. People are watching you, and you can't just turn it off and say, don't watch me. You're one of the best players in the game. So people are going to watch you. So how you carry yourself. Now, maybe you're not a person that speaks to others, which I think that's kind of strange. If a young player comes up to you and wants some advice, you should be willing to give that young player some advice, unless you're Aaron Rodgers and it's Jordan Love. I don't know. Maybe that.
Or Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
For Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that's why.
Funny how that works.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it's it's part of the job. It's part of being a pro. It's part of being a veteran. It's your duty to help younger players. It should be, if you want to win, because those younger players are going to have to show up in critical moments of a season, and you're going to be relying on those young players, and then you're going to, well, why didn't you do it? Who taught? Who? I
never knew.
I never knew. Who the hell told them?
Trying to keep my head above water.
So that's why the messaging and the comments were just absurd to me, because you are the veteran, you are a leader, you are a future Hall of Famer, you are the person that I think most people on that team would want to sit down and have a conversation with. And if you're not able to say, hey, don't do that because of this, or do this because of this, you're probably not going to have a good team. And you were happy about getting another player to come fill that role, which I think should lay in your lap as well.
Carey, the one thing you said out of all that I'm going to isolate for a second is that you want to win.
Yeah.
This is why you talk to any teammate. Veteran, a couple of years in the league, a rookie. If you want to win, if you're one of the best players, you talk to your teammates. And if there's something that they're doing that is not up to standard, you address it. Mm-hmm. Or maybe there's something that they're doing that's above and beyond, and then you reinforce it. Like, there should be conversations all the time. And I've seen many guys who are superstars / leaders go over to another guy, a young guy, and be like, hey, man, I really like that play, good job here, and blah, blah. And it, like, that elevates the player.
Correct.
And then when the veteran player goes and says, hey, man, we need more out of you, the young player goes, okay,
crap,
I'm going to do that because he knows what I can do.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it. I feel like I'm letting this guy down right now.
Well, maybe Nolan Arenado was listening to the Fast Lane, or somebody just said, hey.
Maybe he downloaded the podcast.
Maybe you download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or his 101 ESPN mobile app, all brought to you by Dodge Tire and Auto Centers. Or somebody just told him, hey, some of your comments, they're out there.
They're like a fart in church right now.
Yep, people are reacting. Here is Nolan Arenado on Bally Sports Midwest over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think, some things have gotten blown out of proportion with some of the things we've said or I've said. I think I am a leader. I'm a leader by example. I'm not a vocal guy, and, I'm just following the leads of people I've seen, and, I know I could lead, I could be vocal, but, there's a proper way to do it. The more you talk, the more people, start to, it's just one ear and out the other. So there's got to be a proper time, and I feel like I do that. I'll share my thoughts when I need to, and that's what I'm going to do. But, at the same time, I do have to go out and perform and help this team win ball games.
You do think it's kind of been blown out of proportion?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think people think I'm shying away from trying to help people out, or not. I don't know. I feel like sometimes what I'm hearing is people think I'm like ignoring people or not talking to people, when that's not the case. It's just, there's certain things you can help guys out with. There's certain things that I got to help myself out with. But I think I'm a leader on this team. I know I am. And maybe last year at times I shied away from it because of how I performed. But this year I'm not going to do that.
Anthony, I wrote down 2 words. What does it say?
I think
I'm a leader. Did he not say that? Carey? He said it more than once, too.
Yeah.
I think.
If you think, you probably aren't.
Yeah, I think I'm a leader. Oh, really? Well, who told you? How do you think you're a leader? If you're a leader, you just know it. If I was addressing the media, if this is what happened to me, and the Fast Lane threw a wrench into my wheels, and it's buzzed all the way down to Jupiter, and people are like, hey, man, stuff's hitting the fan back home because you're not a leader. I'd be like, first thing I say is, listen, I am a leader. I absolutely am a leader. I do it differently than certain guys. I do it differently than Matt Carpenter and Lance Lynn. That's why those guys are so valuable, because the way they lead is different than me. It complements the way I lead. Mm-hmm. But I go on that field every day, and I lay it out there. And if guys have questions or they have comments, we talk. It does happen. But one thing I can guarantee you is that I am a leader of this baseball club. That's why I wanted Carp here, is because as a leader, you have to bring in other guys who can support your team and do the job right. That's what he should have said.
So, Carey, before you react, here are some comments.
Tell me you don't agree.
I do.
Here's some comments by Nolan Arenado at STLtoday.com over the weekend. He goes, this is funny. He goes, I think.
Oh, there it is.
I think I've got to hold myself accountable. He said, I think it's hard to go to a young guy and go, you've got to do this when I'm not really doing those things from a performance, from a defensive standpoint. It was hard to do that and be the voice because I didn't feel like I didn't necessarily do those things as a player either. It was hard. It was really hard last season. I think I've got to get away from that mindset. Arenado continued. I don't have to play well to lead. I think there are other ways. I've talked to Goldie about that. He shared with me, you don't have to perform to be a leader here. Your resume speaks for itself. That is something I have to realize. It is hard, especially when you're losing. You want to be the reason why you're fixing the problem and you're not part of the problem. I can understand that aspect of it. I can understand him saying, well, I'm not playing very well, so don't come to me.
Yeah, but that's pouting.
It is.
It's pouting.
He's got to overcome that.
It's not leadership. It's pouting. And when one of my best players, one of my leaders, air quotes, is over there all upset with himself and is internalizing and is like grumpy in the locker room, that's the hardest guys to be around.
Right.
Yep.
Because I was that guy at times, never to the quality of Nolan Arenado. Like I'm saying, when I used to get benched or healthy scratched or tough nights.
Right.
Nobody wants to see the guy dragging his lip across the locker room. Right. Nobody really cares. What they need, though, is for you to jump back on board and help them. So I'm not loving what he's saying.
What I got out of that is that's just not his personality. He's not a person that is capable, maybe willing, but just not capable of having those intimate conversations that help a younger player along the way, and especially when he's not performing at the level that maybe it's one of those things where, man, I got my own problems. I can't help you with yours right now. Let me get myself together. And maybe that's what it was for last season, because he did struggle to begin the year. And so when you're struggling yourself, you sometimes spiral and out of control and are unable to help other players. And people are looking at you like, hey, help. What are we doing? What's the next step? Every team needs a leader and somebody to point them in the right direction. And from all accounts, I mean, Waino was hurt to start the season. They didn't have a person in that clubhouse. You threw Wilson Contreras under the bus. Who in that clubhouse was the person that was speaking up and saying, hey, this ain't good enough. We got to do this. It doesn't sound like there was anyone, because Wilson had his issues. Waino injured. Nolan not playing well. Goldie doesn't seem like he's that type of person either. So it spiraled out of control as a team, and there was no person. And then the younger players were like, well, we don't have any veteran leadership. Let me do it. And then the veteran was like, well, no, don't do that. Well, you didn't tell me what to do, so I'm going to do it my way.
It probably created conflict, too.
I'm sure. But if you're not saying anything as a veteran and a young player steps up, well, what's the complaint?
No.
I wonder how Goldie and Arenado handled things when they were on their respective teams, Colorado and Arizona. There were reasons why those teams never made the playoffs during, I think Colorado made it like one time during Arenado's tenure, but those teams, they never did anything, and they were having bad seasons. I wonder if that has carried over to what we saw last season, and they just didn't know how to pick their team back up because they've never been used to it.
Yeah. Well, they got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
You got to figure it out.
No matter what the reason, it's unacceptable.
And Jamie, you're right. You can lead in all different kinds of ways. You can go out to the field. You can lead by just being the first guy on the field.
Yeah, whatever.
And just show.
And just starting a drill. Like, hey, boys, young guys, get over here. This is what we're going to do today.
Right.
Like Ryan O'Reilly used to do all the time. Hey, grabbing Thomas, grabbing Kyrie, grabbing other guys. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to work on, backhand deflections for an hour.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Petrangelo,
Petro, yeah.
I remember going down to Blues practice, and I've talked about this before. It was like a centipede, or like ducklings following Mama Duck around. And it was just one line, and Petro would go one drill, and then the centipede would follow. Next drill, centipede would follow. He wasn't always the most vocal guy.
Nope.
I'm sure he was in the clubhouse, but you didn't hear him shouting at everybody. You didn't hear a lot of rah-rah speeches.
Yeah,
It's just-
that's
the
not
way to do
always
it.
leadership. You
Right.
don't have to
It
scream,
doesn't necessarily
yell.
work that way.
You, especially for pro athletes, like
Right.
nobody is going to come on.
Yeah.
Man,
And people
shut up.
smell that.
Sure.
Carey, how many times you got a guy like, you can smell it a mile away? You're like, bro, sit down.
Go away.
Sit down.
What are you doing?
Or every time the coach is about to walk in, jumps
Nah,
on, let's
yeah,
go. Come on, let's go.
nah.
Hey, really? Okay, buddy.
Eyewash.
Yes.
All right, we got the gauntlet coming up next. Marsh, you got a gauntlet contestant?
We got one.
There you go. Gauntlet here on 101 ESPN.
Elevate your performance at Pure Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all accessories for your vehicles. If you've got a Jeep, any year, make, or model, Pure Performance has every accessory available to you. My guy Marshy drives a Jeep. I'm getting him all hooked up this spring. We're going to make that thing look beautiful, just beautiful. If you got a Bronco, pickup truck, maybe even a minivan, Pure Performance has all the accessories that you're looking for. And they have an incredible showroom, too. 25,000 square foot facility. It's easy to find. It's right off of Highway 70. And you just get in there. Ask for Shelby, though, please. And tell Shelby that Jamie Rivers sent you in. She's going to take great care of you. She's going to ask you what you're looking to accomplish, what your budget is. And then Pure Performance absolutely maximizes everything for your budget. They've got a full-service garage, too. So if anything else needs some attention while you're in there, they've got you covered. And then when your vehicle comes out and you go to pick it up, you are going to just absolutely love it. You're going to love it so much that you're going to tell everybody about it, as you should. So please get by and see them in person. But if not, get there online. Visit them at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit Mastor.com.
Time for the Gauntlet in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 4:05, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. And we welcome in Will to the Gauntlet. What's up, Will?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. Is this your first time in the Gauntlet?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, no, we appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing today. Will, would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, Jamie, or me today?
Anthony, I think I got to choose you today.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Typically not a leadoff hitter.
So focused on that one.
All right, here we go.
I like to change it up a little bit.
I like that, Will. All right, well, good luck to you.
Thanks, sir. You too.
All right, Will. Anthony's going to make his way to the cone of silence. While he does that, going to tell our guy Marshy to spin the wheel.
Hey, Marshy, spin that wheel.
All right, Will, what's your preference here?
Gosh, I don't know. I think I like random, but that seems like it's hit a lot lately, so probably going to luck out on that one, or not going to luck out on that one.
Well, it's not random. Now, as you picked Anthony, what is the one category that Anthony gets a lot?
God, I feel like he hasn't played in a while, so I'm not too on par with what he gets a lot.
Well,
hope it's not football.
It's not football. It's hockey.
Oh, gee whiz. All right, let's do it.
All right, buddy.
Pack a lunch.
Both of you better pack a lunch. Here's how it's going to work. There's 4 questions. Each question is worth 2 points. If you use the options, though, and answer correctly, it's only worth 1 point. And, of course, a wrong answer gets you 0 points. Willie, are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, category hockey. Question 1. Which team recently broke the Oilers' historic winning streak?
Oh, gosh, dang. I know. Give me the options.
Was it the LA Kings, the Vegas Golden Knights, or the Anaheim Ducks?
That's not what I was thinking.
It never is.
Gosh, give me the Knights. Final answer.
Thank you.
Question number 2. In the Blues Stanley Cup winning season, their 11-game win streak was snapped by which team?
Of course, I was living in Kentucky at that time and did my best to follow. Give me the options.
Is it the Minnesota Wild, the Anaheim Ducks, or the Dallas Stars?
Ducks. Final answer.
Question number 3. In that win streak, their 11th and final win was against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Which Blues scored the overtime game-winning goal against Toronto to extend that win streak to 11 games?
Ryan O'Reilly. Final answer.
All right, Willie, final question here.
Yes, sir.
In the 2019 playoffs, how many wins did the Blues have in overtime?
Oh, gosh. There was the one where Maroon scored the goal. Was that overtime? I don't know. Give me the option. Dang it.
All right. Was it 2, 3, or 4?
3. Final answer.
All right, let's get Anthony back in here. He's got to follow. He's nodding off in there.
Falling asleep?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, man.
He's nodding off.
We just started the show.
Anthony, all right?
Wake up, Anthony.
All right, we saw you nodding off there a little bit. You got a little drool on your beard. Just wipe that off there.
Good to go.
Okay. How was it in there?
Good.
Quiet.
Solid.
Huh?
Yeah, it was quiet. Yeah. Mike Ryder's not hanging around for the Gauntlet anymore.
Left already?
Cut out early, huh? Yeah.
Cut out early. He's the first guy in the building every single
He
day.
opens the door every day.
Pretty sure.
All right, Antoine. Better pack a lunch, buddy.
All right. What do we get? Hockey or hockey? Hockey. Yeah.
Yep. Category is hockey.
Good.
You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Question number 1. Which team recently broke the Oilers' historic winning streak?
I believe that was Vegas, right? Vegas Golden Knights? Yeah. Yes, final answer. Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
Question number 2. In the Blues Stanley Cup winning season, their 11-game win streak was snapped by which team?
feel like that was a Central Division opponent like Minnesota or something. Can I have the options, please?
Is it Minnesota Wild, Anaheim Ducks, or the Dallas Stars?
Oh, man. I said Wild first. I also thought about the Stars. I'll just go with my gut. Minnesota, final answer.
Question number 3. In that win streak, their 11th and final win was against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Which Blues scored the overtime game-winning goal against Toronto to extend that win streak to 11 games?
The first player I thought of was Jaden Schwartz, but I'll get the options just in case.
Options are Ryan O'Reilly, David Perron, or Braden Shen.
Oh, good thing I asked. Perron, O'Reilly, or Shen? I'll go O'Reilly. Final answer.
Final question. In the 2019 playoffs, how many wins did the Blues have in overtime?
Ooh. They won against Boston. No. They won against Winnipeg. Yeah, I say at least one against Dallas because that was a game. One against San Jose. No, they had one against. I'll say 3. I think it was 3. Final answer.
All right, let's go over this. Let's start right there. In the 2019 playoffs, how many wins did the Blues have in overtime? Willie, you said 3.
No.
Anthony, you said 3. Correct answer is 2.
Oh.
Pat Maroon and Boom Gunnarsson.
That's right.
Yeah. Pat Maroon against the Stars. Boom Gunnarsson against the Bruins. 2.
I thought they had one against Winnipeg, too.
Jaden Schwartz scored a late goal from Tyler Bozak.
Yes.
That won that game.
Yeah.
Did not go to overtime.
That's what I was thinking.
It was headed for overtime, but didn't quite get there. Okay, so 0-0 after 1. Let's go to question 2. In the Blues Stanley Cup winning season, their 11-game win streak was snapped by which team? Willie, you took the options. You said the Anaheim Ducks. Anthony, you also took the options. You said the Minnesota Wild. Hey, Dallas Stars. No, gut instinct, Minnesota Wild. Answer is
the Dallas Stars.
Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Well, you were right with a Central Division opponent, Anthony. You just picked the wrong one.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Carey, can we get a score update, please?
0-0.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Just checking. Yep. Okay, let's go here with question number 3. In that win streak, their 11th and final win was against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Which Blue scored the overtime game-winning goal against Toronto to extend that win streak to 11 games? Willie, you said Ryan O'Reilly. Anthony, you said Ryan O'Reilly. Answer is
Ryan O'Reilly.
But Willie didn't need the answer or the options. So
He didn't need anything. He didn't need the question. He just answered it. That's how good Willie is.
Up 2-1. I remember that goal too. It was an absolute. It was a piss missile right up over the shoulder on the Toronto goaltender.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, so 2-1 heading into our final question here, which is question 1. Which team recently broke the Oilers' historic win streak? Willie, you said the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh.
Anthony, you said the Vegas Golden Knights. Carey, answer is
Vegas Golden Knights.
But Anthony didn't need the options.
Walk it off.
We gotta walk off. All right, Willie, here's how it's gonna work. We're gonna ask Marshy and you at the same time the tiebreaker question. Do not answer.
Is Marsh answering for me today?
Oh, no, sorry.
No, he can. Andrew Stalter is playing today. Totally can.
Sorry, guys. We're going to ask Anthony and you the tiebreaker question. Don't answer right away. Hold on to your answer. Anthony, You write down your answer. As soon as we get Anthony's answer, we'll go to you, Willie, and then we're going to need your answer quickly. Okay, bud?
Yes, sir.
And then
yes, sir. Let's do it.
This is closest to the pin. These are usually really easy. Tiebreaker question. What is the most shots on goal the Blues have had in a single game this season?
Shots on goal?
Mm-hmm. Can't see it.
I see it.
Okay, Anthony has his answer in. Willie, what's your answer?
Gosh, is it like 3,500?
That'd be a fast lane answer.
That's pretty good, though. I'll give you that. That was pretty funny.
I'm going to say 42, final answer.
All right. We got a winner.
You have chosen wisely.
Good job, Willie.
Anthony, tell us what you wrote.
50, 50.
50, and obviously 42 was Willie's. The answer is
45.
45.
Ooh,
45.
Wow, great job, Will.
Good job.
Nice
Hey,
job.
thanks for the fight. I'm glad I got my money's worth with the walk-up.
You certainly did. And you're going to be back tomorrow to take on either Marsh, Carey, or Jamie. Congratulations, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for playing. I appreciate you guys.
No, it's our pleasure. Thanks for listening.
Thanks a lot,
man.
Willie. Take
All
care.
right, we'll talk to you tomorrow,
Thanks,
Will.
Willie.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Talk to you guys later.
Almost.
Anthony did really good, man. I'm proud of you.
I didn't at all, but thank you.
I love how Willie said thanks for playing. Like
Thanks for
he
playing,
was the one that owned you.
He did. Hey, today he absolutely did own me.
Guys, I need to address something.
Yep.
One of our listeners from the 314 has a problem with a question, but I'm going to read the question again. In the 2019 playoffs, how many wins
Yeah.
did the Blues have in overtime?
I did miss wins.
Wins.
Yeah.
Well, 314 decided to take it upon himself to write this. Embarrassing that the home of the Blues wouldn't know that there was an overtime game against the San Jose Sharks in 2019 playoffs when they won on the hand pass. Yeah,
It's
San
wins.
Jose won on the hand pass.
Yeah.
So as the home of the Blues, we recognize that when the other team scores in overtime, they win, we don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Appreciate your participation.
I did. I thought the hand pass game, but I'm like, now that obviously they lost that game.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that it was the OT against Winnipeg, the game that Marsh is talking about. I remember the boom boom Gunnarsson, and obviously the Pat Maroon goal, but it was the Winnipeg. I thought for sure, like, was that game 5 against Winnipeg?
I believe so. Or no, was it game
one?
One?
I think it was game
game one.
I thought it was game 5.
No,
when
actually,
they
it
had-
might have been game 1. All those games in Winnipeg were fairly close.
Really
Yeah.
close, yeah.
Either way. All right.
It's the home of the Blues. We should know that.
We should. Embarrassing.
Seriously.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Let's dive back into the Blues. So the Blues lose 4-2 today. They lose to the Nashville Predators over the weekend. A lot of frustration from us when we signed on today. What about for Drew Bannister? We'll get into some of the comments that he made following the game next on 101 ESPN.
Thinking about selling your home? Many home sellers are realizing a cash offer may be the best solution for them. However, unlike a local investor or real estate agent that gives you one option, call Gloria Lou. She's got several options with your home sold guaranteed realty. And the one thing I like about Gloria Lou is she's already got the buyers. She has thousands of buyers in her database. And what that does is it directs way more traffic to your listing, hopefully multiple offers, and hopefully more money in your pocket. Gloria also has options to simplify selling your home. And the one option that I love is called guaranteed sales. That's where Gloria sits down with the homeowner and they agree upon the sales price. And then Gloria sells your home for that amount of money, or she buys it herself and she guarantees all of that in handwriting. So if you are selling your home and it's getting to be that time, springtime's right around the corner, perfect time to sell your home, please call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you over there. Her number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price as well as the possession date.
If over the weekend you had issues driving around because you're in a beater of a car, why don't you trade it in at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum? They'll take it off your hands and they'll set you up with a brand new Nissan or a pre-owned vehicle of your choice that's going to fit right in your budget. They've got the best financing department that I've seen of any dealership. They'll finance a vehicle for you, whether you got good credit or bad credit, and they'll make sure that you're driving off the lot not only in a new Nissan or a pre-owned vehicle, with a monthly payment that's much lower than you thought was possible. That's what Auto Centers Nissan does. They did for us in our household, and they'll do it for you as well. Over 700 vehicles on the lot in one location. That's what Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum offers. They also offer free nationwide lifetime warranty as well, and they also have the 30-day return promise. They're so confident that you'll love the vehicle, but they'll give you 30 days to bring it back, and they'll give you a full refund if you, for whatever reason, need to bring the vehicle back. But again, they're so confident that you're going to love the car and you're going to feel great about the price and everything that you won't need the 30-day return promise. But at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they need to be your first spot. Or head to AutoCentersNissan.com, select the vehicle, then go test drive your cars. But at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, you will find the right vehicle for you. Tell them Stalter sent you.
Circle, passes over to Krug, who is moving towards him, and it's 2-on-1 the other way. Now Nylander a breakaway. 2 on the goalie, they score. 3-1. Toronto, a shorthanded goal with 53 seconds to go in the penalty kill.
Even though that was a goal that only made it 3-1, and the Blues made it 3-2 before falling 4-2, and that audio courtesy of course, the home of the Blues, 101 ESPN right here. Blues Radio Network and Chris Gerber. That was the one that was the most frustrating because it was a 1-0 game, then 1-1, then 2-1, and then the shorthanded one was just the backbreaker. Jamie, what happened on that play? Because I know that you diagnosed it for us in the office. How about you diagnose it for us again here?
Yeah, it's just frustrating watching that play because, you know, they had pretty good puck possession in the offensive zone, and I'm watching them as looks like they're trying to basically maneuver into creating a goal-scoring opportunity. Then Pavel Buchnevich gets the puck at the top of the umbrella or the blue line area, and Torrey Krug is down on the half wall. Well, Pavel Buchnevich starts to skate towards Torrey Krug, and usually when that happens, if a player's moving into your area, you move out of that area. Otherwise, one of their players can cover two players at once.
Yeah, not great on a power play.
No, that's what you're trying to create the advantage. Why would you take away your own advantage? So as Pavel Buchnevich is moving from the top of the blue line down towards the half wall, Torrey Krug's job is to move back to where Pavel Buchnevich just came from to now create a decision to be made by that top forward that's defending. Who does he take? How does he defend? If he doesn't go with Pavel Buchnevich, Buch has a chance to walk right down the wall and shoot one. If he does go, now it can be kicked back to Torrey Krug for a one-timer. So it's there. You do it on purpose to create some confusion. And on that play, as Torrey Krug's moving back, Pavel Buchnevich fires a laser, like a quick pass into his feet. Well, there's nothing that Torrey Krug can do on that play there. And then William Nylander, unfortunately, is right there to pounce on the puck, and he's off to the races on a breakaway. Then he gets joined by his teammate, turns into a 2-on-0 on a penalty kill. And William Nylander is one of the best goal scorers on that team, and is certainly a great goal scorer in the NHL. He waits so long with the puck that you almost think it's certain he's going to pass to his teammate. And Joel Hofer felt that way too, and he went down low early and started to lean towards the pass. And as soon as he went down, Nylander was like, "No, thanks, top shelf." It was waiting for him to make a move. And so that's why I was frustrated with the play, because you didn't have to make that pass to Torrey Krug. There was he wasn't under pressure. Just skate with the puck, skate it down the wall, and then force somebody to come with you. And Torrey Krug is going to be there as your outlet guy. So just the execution on that play was disappointing, and obviously the result is terrible. The result is really kind of the nail in the coffin, because otherwise, if it stays 2-1 at that point, you do score.
Right.
I know it's all in hindsight now, you know, and I don't have my crystal balls to take a look at what's going on, you know.
Could have the extra one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if the one breaks, you need two, right?
No doubt. Yep.
So that ends up being a bit of a difference maker in this game because you gave up that goal.
Drew Bannister talked after the media, or to the media, I should say, after the game on the Blues being late, being in these games late at least.
I mean, we're putting ourselves in a position to win those hockey games, but now we have to find ways, and it is disappointing. You know, we didn't play well against Nashville, and we still had an opportunity to be in that game, and we let that slip away. And then today we're tied going into the third, and you know, we take a penalty right away, ends up in the back of our net. We go to the power play where, you know, we have an opportunity to tie that game up, you know, ends up in the back of our net off a turnover. So, you know, certainly, you know, disappointment's going to be there, you know, and we have to find a way quickly to turn it around.
I think it's great that they're in games. I do, but he's right. You did not play well in the previous two periods. You didn't play well against Nashville. So even though you're in games, you're also saying that you also you had opportunities earlier in games that you didn't take advantage of. You could be leading heading into the third period, or you could be the team that is in control of the game heading in if you play a full three periods. And I know it's tough. The other team is paid well to hang with you, and Toronto certainly is a very good team. But it's good. It's one thing to be in these games late. It's quite another to put yourself in position to win it.
And you're also trying to stay in that wild card spot. We're sitting here watching the game, and now you got to wait and hope that the Detroit Red Wings are beating the Seattle Kraken. There's so many other factors that go into it when you let games slip away. You lost to the Nashville Predators. You allowed them to get a couple of games closer to you. So every game has so much more value than it did, obviously, earlier in the season when you're trying to – you really need to make the playoffs this season and see if you can make a push. But when you're dropping games and not playing to your full potential, especially this late in the season as it's getting close, it makes it tougher to continue to believe that this team can be a playoff team and will have success in the playoffs if they are.
What's frustrating, I think, for the fan base and the players, the team, the coaches, everybody, is – you're in these 2 games. You didn't play your best, and you still had opportunities to win games or compete in those games. And that's the frustrating part. And that's the stuff that I said in the very first segment today. Is just this is the things that Doug Armstrong is going to have to evaluate. And these are the things that go on behind the scenes that people in the fan base don't necessarily understand sometimes. But he's back there right now watching these games. They're looking at the players. And even though this team has a chance to get into the playoffs, they're currently still in a playoff spot, there might be some things that he needs to change. Not for this year, but for next year moving forward, so that they don't have these games to where they should be winning and they're not, or they should be competing and maybe they're not. Doug Armstrong has to find the quickest way from A to B that's possible for this club. And sometimes it might be moving on from certain players that are impeding the progress of your team, even though they're good players or they've been veteran guys or whatever. So I don't know what Army's going to do, but you can't continue to remain status quo with this team if it's going to be inconsistent. It was all of last year, and it was so much this year that you had to fire your coach, and you had a little bit of a run there for a bit, playing some pretty good hockey, but then you've handed some games back. That screams inconsistent. And you can't have that. You can't be that way and be a perennial contender like you want to be. So what has to change? I don't know. I mean, that's up for the people who are paid a lot of money to get that organized and figured out, but it has to change.
Blues will have to sit on this one until Thursday night when they take on the Islanders pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6 o'clock. With Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh will have what's trending next.
Cheap, cheap, fun, fun. Nobody better in St. Louis to get you ready for your parties or your get-togethers or just your casual drinking than Dirt Cheap. They've got an incredible selection of beer, an incredible selection of wines, whether it's a white wine or a red wine. Maybe you're looking to find a specific wine or pair it up with something. Get into the locations. First, tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in and talk to the representatives. They love to help people out. They're going to suggest some of the beers, the wines, and, of course, the spirits. The bourbon, baby. That's the best one right there. I'm a bourbon guy, and Dirt Cheap has plenty of selection. The Angels Envy, the Elijah Craig. They've got Bullet as well. They've got everything right there, and they've got it all at great prices, too. That's the thing, is you're going to find the same name brands as anywhere else, but you're not going to find those elevated prices. Dirt Cheap takes care of their customers, and they also have the app going right now. Download the Dirt Cheap app, and you get savings on there. There's different things that are available. There's clubs that you can be a part of. There's raffles that you can get a bit of a heads up on. And Dirt Cheap makes sure that they take great care of you. And they have the app for another reason. You can order your alcohol and have it delivered to your home, or you can pick it up curbside. Those are great luxuries to have. And so I've been telling my friends recently to get dirty. All that means is get over to Dirt Cheap and check out all their amazing things that they've got going on. So please do the same. Get in there, check it out, and remember to have fun, but be careful out there.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lost to the Maple Leafs earlier today by a final score of 4-2. They'll take on the New York Islanders on Thursday. With the pregame starting at 6, puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We've talked about the Blues game a little bit today. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find it there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, this was interesting out of Major League Baseball. Los Angeles Angels third baseman Anthony Rendon says that baseball has never been a top priority for me and that he plays the sport to make a living. He went on to say, it's never been a top priority for me. This is a job. I do this to make a living. My faith, my family come first before this job. So if those things come before it, I'm leaving. He then went on to say, oh, it is a priority for sure, referencing the game of baseball that he plays. Because it's his job, I'm here, aren't I?
This guy.
I love that last part.
Ish.
I'm here, ain't I?
Basically saying, I have to be here to get my paycheck, so I'm here.
Yeah.
The minute you all say no more, no more. I'm here, ain't I?
I get it, like the top priority, like your family, your faith.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Right.
But when you say this out loud and how he sort of handled this, what are your thoughts as a fan?
He's played 58 games.
He's stealing money.
He's averaged like 58 games for the Angels each year.
He's not gotten through anything.
No, he's stealing. He's stealing money.
He is right now.
I'm marching with you. You want to put your faith in your family first? Of course, yeah. No issue there. But it's his overall demeanor. It's his demeanor toward you. You got the sense from this guy as soon as he signed that big contract from the Angels is like, all right, I'm good. I don't have to do anything.
Almost immediately stopped playing.
Yeah. He went after the fan in Oakland with more passion and aggression than I've seen his actual play in Anaheim.
As a teammate.
LA. California.
As a teammate, when you hear this, I don't think people really. Well, yeah, I don't think people really understand how impactful a locker room is. Like the things you do with your team, and you are, especially baseball, because they play 162 games. You are with your teammates more than you are with your own family, especially during the season. You're spending more time. You're on the road. You're traveling. You're doing all of these things. And if you hear a teammate say, I don't really care. That's not a priority for me. Wait, what?
Come again now?
Why? So when it gets down to the thick of it, you have other priorities that supersede these. And as you said, if you're injured, banged up,
I'm not pushing through that.
Shoulder's a little sore today.
I woke up in the wrong side of the bed, next little creek.
Paycheck coming on Tuesday.
Well,
catch you then.
I'd be like, Anthony. Faith, family. Okay, cool. Family, faith. Is baseball 3 or how far down the list is baseball?
Fishing.
Yeah, like I don't fault you for
NASCAR and basketball. I don't know. I mean, some few things in front of them, sure.
Let's remember something here. This is the same team that had the 2 best players in the world and couldn't make the playoffs.
Well, now you know why.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, this is why.
Let's sign this guy.
Mike Trout on record today saying that he doesn't want to be traded, but he has put the pressure on the ownership to go pick up some guys.
Right.
Oh, really? Why are you not walking around the clubhouse finding that guy?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
There's no way. There's no way he can. You don't. Yeah.
You're not going to motivate somebody that's completely unmotivated.
No, but there's no way you walk through this.
Put him on the IR?
Yeah, this clubhouse, this locker room, and just
he'll go there anyways. You don't even need to harm him.
He'll get him there sooner.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just tell him, just go now.
Right.
Just go.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Money's already been spent.
I can't believe he said
Sunk
that.
cost.
It's not a priority.
It's not a priority at
But
all.
it's not the first time everybody's heard about Rendon not having committed. I
Yeah.
told you guys in the break. Somebody else told me a couple of years ago they talked about this guy. This was before he signed with the Angels, saying he doesn't even really like baseball.
Somebody should have told the Angels front office that you signed him 7 years, $245 million. Someone should have said, "Hey, that guy there, you're going to pay all that money. He doesn't really like baseball." Wait, what? Yeah, no.
I cannot like baseball for that money.
Yeah.
Hell,
We can all not like baseball.
It didn't seem that way, though, when he was winning a World Series with the Nationals. I understand why they gave him the money. Like, he was a good baseball player.
But it was
one of the
almost
best
like
third
now you
basemen.
look back and was it fraudulent? Because he put together that amazing run, and then he got paid, and he's like, yeah, my work here is done.
I'm good.
I don't know. It's just bothersome that he even says that.
I mean,
stuff.
two guys that I know you guys cut your teeth just to be on the roster.
Man, scratch, claw.
Absolutely. Every single year, you're fighting just to be on the roster. You get this guy's making gobs of money. It's like,
out of my way.
He doesn't want to even be there.
No.
But that's in every sport. You got guys that don't really love the sport, and they're just God-given, gave them a talent that they, had to keep going.
Yeah, this is not surprising. I remember talking to a couple of college football players at one point, and they're like, I remember being, I'd ask them, hey, NFL game's on tomorrow, you just catching them? They're like, nah. Like, oh, you guys got practice? I don't really watch football.
Like, it's amazing. You don't. What?
Can I have your talent, please?
You have guys like Robert Thomas, who is on the opening drive always talking about the games that he's watching. He loves the game of hockey, even watching other teams.
And it doesn't make you a great player, but I don't know, as a fan, it kind of
certainly helps.
Feels good.
You learn so much, especially if you're a pro and you're watching other pros play other teams. You pick up stuff all the time. I used to pick up, I used to love watching Chris Chelios. Because of the way he played, and had picked up so much from him even before I got to play with him.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's what I was like, watching those games with a purpose.
No doubt. We've got our Sports Six back coming up next. 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you have a question, send it there. Again, Sports Six back next.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, in the business for over 80 years. And I have to tell you a little bit of a personal story here. Just 2 days ago, my son was in the market to purchase his first vehicle. He went over to Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, and the crew over there was incredible. Johnny Londoff, the man himself, was in Florida, but he lined up meetings for my boy to talk to Jim over there and to Johnny Londoff III. And they did a great job of guiding him in the right direction, got him the best price, got him the best interest rate, all of that stuff. And they put him in a brand new Chevy Trax. And let me tell you, these SUVs are awesome. The interior is spacious. It's beautiful. They got beautiful design on the outside, and they are very affordable. And they're certainly way more affordable at Londoff Chevrolet, where you get all kinds of savings over there. So please stop by either location, the original location in Florissant, Missouri, or the new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters, which, by the way, is fantastic. Their service area is second to none. So please stop by either location. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in, and just know that you are going to get the best customer service you've ever gotten before, because they treat you like family. So please, again, get there in person or get there online. Visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Landa Chevrolet.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalters. Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six Pack.
Question number one.
All right, from the 636, whose bus are you on at a victory parade? The Kelsey brothers, Pat Maroon, little typo there, or Brett Hull?
That's an easy one for me.
Brett Hull.
Oh, God, yes. Are you kidding me?
I'm with you. I've heard.
I love Pat Maroon.
Yeah.
Pat Maroon would have been my second choice. Yeah. And the Kelsey brothers, I'd be fine with Jason Kelsey. Travis Kelsey kind of annoys me.
Really? He's too much.
He just sometimes his personality, like he's just got to be so animated. He's like got to be so like over the top. I'm like, after a while, it seems kind of fake.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't mind a guy being energetic and animated, but it's got to feel authentic to me. And I feel like this is kind of like the bit for him. And maybe I'm 100% wrong. If I am, then hey, guess what? I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm alone thinking that it's a little over the top, like almost on purpose all the time.
So Brett Hull.
Brett Hull, for sure.
We're all on there. Can we all fit on there? We're all on there.
Yeah.
We'll make room.
Absolutely.
No way I'm picking anything else. Marsha, you?
No, it's Brett Hall.
Heard a lot about you.
Question number 2.
All right, from the 636, in relation to
Nolan Arenado.
some people walk into greatness, others have greatness thrust upon them. With great power / skill comes great responsibility / leadership. What are your thoughts on that?
It's true.
Is that Spider-Man?
It is Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it's true.
The words are true.
It holds water, man. Like it does, because no matter what, when you're a player as good as Nolan Arenado is, you're always looked upon for leadership. It doesn't have to be the vocal guy. Like, I think, Carey, you brought up earlier, like, people are like, oh, you got to be the vocal guy. No, not everybody's wired that way. And again, talk about being fraudulent. Like, some guys who aren't wired that way and they try to do that.
It's weird.
It comes out, you're like, what? Like, buddy, sit down. No, don't do that.
They don't sound great.
No, but you should be leading by example. And there's so many ways. If you're that good, it means you're automatically leading by example.
And people are watching you. It's, again, like parents. We all have children. Your kids watch you. They watch the good, the bad, the ugly. They're paying attention. When you are a superstar to the caliber of Nolan Arenado, people are paying attention. Even if you don't say a word, they are watching you. They're watching how you prepare. They're watching how you take reps in the field and take a batting practice. They watch how you unsnap your gloves, and like they're watching every
how you put your
Wow, why is he so great?
Stick,
oh my God,
your hands,
what does he do? I'm gonna try that. A young person, I'm gonna try that
true.
because he shoot, maybe to make me faster. No, it's not. But he did it, so of course I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
That's part of being a pro and watching, and young players are going to pay attention.
That's so true. I remember guys taping their sticks differently now because so-and-so, like, well, Hully uses black tape. I'm going from white tape to black tape.
Listen, Charles Woodson used to flip his gloves down. I started flipping my gloves down.
Now I'm Charles Woodson.
This looks sweet. Yeah, okay.
So
don't
true.
strap them up. I'm flip them down. Yeah. It's part of it. You watch greatness and you want to emulate it.
Yeah.
So they're watching him.
Question number 3.
This one comes from Justin. One's got to go. Ryan Helsley, Steven Matz, Lance Lynn, or Kyle Gibson?
Steven Matz.
Gibson just got here. We don't want to get rid of him yet. One
Lance
has
Lynn,
to go?
Yeah, it's Steven Matz.
Why do you want to? Steven is a really nice guy.
Okay, what was my list again? Ryan Helsley?
Ryan Helsley, Steven Matz.
You're going to need Ryan Helsley. Even though he doesn't want to touch the ball 2 days in a row, he's allergic to it. You're going to need him, okay?
I'm not getting rid of Steven Matz.
I am. He's been injured. If nothing else, at least Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson are going to take the ball. You think Lance Lynn's going to be like, oh, my arm.
No, I don't.
Sore.
But he's 36.
I'm not talking 5 years from now. I'm like, now.
Right now.
Now.
Let's get out of that contract, too. Only two, hey, you got 2 years left.
That's right, Anthony.
I'm not, you know what?
And he's probably going to have 5 starts and he'll be back on the IR.
No. Steven Matz is going to pitch 30 games this year.
You know it.
Oh, Steven Matz.
28.
He's pitched a lot of innings.
28
Anthony knows that.
games this season for Steven Matz. 28 starts.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Steven
boy.
Matz.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Steven Matz is the answer.
He's going to be the one that's healthy.
What's your answer, then?
I don't have one.
You can't. Come on.
You can't sit on the fence and throw stones at everybody else.
You're going to give away one of your late inning options?
Listen, I love the intro. Hell's Bells?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but...
So you're saying Steven Matz over the course of the last 2 years has been more effective than Ryan Helsley?
No.
Well, then why would you get rid of him?
Because this year's the year, fellas.
Jamie brings up good questions.
So this is the time.
The year for what?
For Steven Matz to start 28 games.
To go 500?
Hey, you guys, you know what? You guys are really upsetting me. Have you not watched Steven Matz in spring training? Have you not seen him in the last few years? Did you not see him when he came back from the injury? The way that he was playing, the way that he was performing was outstanding.
Was it? Really? Yeah, outstanding around.
He was standing in, pitching, and doing a great job. And we're going to continue to go in that way. We're on the upswing. We're going up.
What the hell is in your cup?
Steven Matz.
He's got 2 different things today. Something's up, Anthony.
You don't worry about that, Mr. Rivers. You don't worry about what's in my cup.
It's red Kool-Aid.
Is it ever? My goodness.
Nah. Well, the answer is Steven Matz.
Poor Carey.
Okay. I'm going to prove you wrong. Just wait and see.
Okay.
We'll be here.
Deal.
Write this down. Mark this day. 4/56/2/19/24.
For what?
Stephen Matz.
Stephen Matz Day?
Yes.
For no reason.
Stephen Matz is going to start painting the corners. He's
There
going to do
you
a great
go.
job this year, striking batters out. He's going to have that same mentality he had last year when he came from the
garage.
bullpen, went to the starting rotation. He's going to be fantastic this year. He's going to make 28 starts, and he's going to win over 12 games. He's going to be one of those pitchers
There's
that
what
wins
I'm
12
talking
games this year.
Yes.
So then who are you getting rid of?
I'm getting rid of Stephen Matz.
Took your glasses off, and we got the answer.
This is ridiculous.
There it is right there.
All right.
Question number 4.
From the 217, what do you think of Bryce Harper reportedly seeking an extension at this stage of his contract?
How much? What has he got left?
Like 7 years, right? I think he's only been there like 3
Let's
years.
see
Was he
what
joking?
Yeah. No, he 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 years
And he
7
wants
years
an
left.
extension?
on his contract.
Oh, my Lord.
He looks like he wants more. Maybe he wants more money. I mean, if you're paying Anthony Rendon $35
Wait,
million a year,
does he have opt-outs
No.
anywhere?
No.
No, that was
He's
part of his
locked in.
deal. He didn't want opt-outs.
He got $26 million a year for the next till 2031.
He didn't want to go through the free agent process again.
Probably looking at it now and saying, "Hey, giving guys
Hey, Bryce.
$500 million."
He's like, hey, I just want to be here.
Hey, Bryce, you got 7 years left. Call me in like 5 years, and let's see how this is looking.
Yeah.
The Cardinals might offer him a contract when it's over. What will he be, 50?
That's when we'll get him.
It'll still be too expensive.
37.
Probably.
He wanted to be here. 10 years
One-year
ago.
deal. 1-year deal, $6 million. He wanted to be here.
That's way too much.
It's 52.
Question number 5.
All right, guys. Has the dunk contest at the NBA All-Star Game, the festivities, has it become a joke?
I didn't see the dunk contest.
I didn't either.
I can't comment on
The G League player Matt McClung won for the
Why
second
was
year
he
in a
in
row.
the dunk
Yeah,
contest?
because you don't have anybody that wants to do it, and so it's part of the problem.
Man.
So it's
It's
the
fallen.
NBA All-Star Game, right?
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Well, I kind of do because it's not the G
It
League
was the
All-Star.
All-Star game, but it was the dunk. It's neither here
But they
nor
call it
there.
All-Star festivities,
It is.
right?
He's an All-Star within his own right.
Is he an All-Star in the G League at least?
I would assume so. He's a dunk contest All-Star.
That doesn't make him an
He's
All-Star.
won it twice.
I've seen guys in schoolyards that can dunk.
They
but they
probably
can't
should
play
bring those.
anywhere
and I
organized.
agree. They probably should bring those guys too, because you don't have, you know what? We talk a lot. I blame LeBron for this. He's the first
Hang on.
superstar.
Do tell.
Jamie's ready.
Because every
here for this.
superstar that I can think of prior to LeBron's era participated in the All-Star Weekend in some form. Dunk contest, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter. You had all of the guys, Dominique Wilkins. You had superstars participating.
Those were fun
And
times.
then when LeBron, who is probably the one person that could have and should have and would have won because he's extremely athletic, said, no, I'm not doing it. And so everyone else said, well, he's not doing it. How would I do it? He's the best player on the
They
court.
call it load management these days.
There you
Carey.
go.
Mm-hmm.
And so once he decided not to do it, and everyone else said, you know what? He's right. I don't need to do it either. He's the best player. If our leader, Nolan Arenado, isn't doing it, why the hell do I have to? See how that goes? See how it all works, how it all ties in together.
I could blame Steph Curry because now, back in the day, the dunk used to be the big thing, right? Like, oh my gosh, this guy's slamming the ball down. Now it's like, oh my goodness, this guy just hit a shot from the logo.
Half court.
Oh, the
That part of it, too.
three-point shot
That's
is
pretty
now
damn
what
impressive,
the NBA
though.
That was very impressive.
Yeah. Damian Lillard, that guy put on an absolute clinic.
Somebody had to.
I
and
couldn't believe when
did.
he was pulling up from half court in the game.
Yeah.
And draining it.
Like, let me keep backing up
Like
here.
it's easy. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like nothing but
nothing
net,
but
too.
net.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
It really is amazing.
Yeah, it's a skill set right there, man. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Can the Blues be serious about making the playoffs if they're going to be this inconsistent? That's next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, you know you've purchased a home before.
Several. Yeah.
You know what an investment what a big investment it is. You want to make sure that you're set up for success, right? Well, that's why you got to call our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. He has the bagel loan, and if you're borrowing $200,000 or more, you can set up the bagel loan, which includes no closing costs, no lender fees, and you can get that pre-approval process done in as little as 2 weeks. Sets you up perfectly for success when it comes to that loan.
Yeah, and it's getting to be the season of purchasing homes. It's coming around. The weather starts to get nicer. Spring's right around the corner. People are putting their houses on the market. You don't want to be showing up to one of these houses without your plan in place, without getting pre-approved, without having the bagel loan, without talking to Stewie, because then forget about it. The way the market is, you'll lose that house and you'll be looking forever. So please call our guy Stewie. He will get you set up to where you just have to walk in, you know what's going on, and then they get you to the closing table. And that's why our guy Stewie is the best. And all you have to do is call him or text him. His number, 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
Call him, text him, days, nights, weekends, doesn't matter. Our guy's there for you all the time. And if you can't remember that number, Anthony, what can they do?
Well, remember talking about the bagel loan? I just Googled the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Hey, it's been cold. It must be February, and your energy bills will be high at an all-time high. Now is the time to replace those windows with 50% off of all window styles from Window Nation. You can pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Now's the time to protect your family from the elements, lower your energy costs, and upgrade the look and feel of your home. With new windows, your peers, your neighbors will be peering in, trying to see where you got these windows from and why they look so beautiful in your home. Just call 866-90NATION or go online to windownation.com. Window Nation can install those new windows in a day or less. Window Nation has a lifetime warranty on those windows, so trust me, if something happens, they will be there to take care of it. That's 50% off of all window styles plus 0 down, 0 interest, and make no payments for 24 months. All they do is windows. They're expert. Last year, they installed over 200,000 windows with a 96% satisfaction rate, requiring no follow-up service. Reach out to them today, 866-90NATION, or go online at windownation.com.
Fall today to the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2. They had an opportunity to tie the game late. They had pulled Joel Hofer to make it 3-2. Torrey Krug scored with about a minute or so left, but Toronto capitalized on what should have been a penalty, set up an empty net opportunity for Toronto, and they won again 4-2. 5:06, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Can the Blues be a serious playoff contender when they're this inconsistent? Yes and no. But now, Jamie, you and I, and Carey, we're all watching this Red Wings Kraken game, and we're rooting on the Red Wings because the Blues are in a spot now where they have to start to scoreboard watch a little bit, or at least we do. They don't have to. But you can be inconsistent and still be a playoff team. The Blues have largely been inconsistent this year, and they're still hovering around the playoffs. But if you're the last 2 games, ugly. and you don't want to rely on other teams having to lose for you to make the playoffs. It's a bad spot to be in.
It's never a great strategy to hope for others' misfortunes so that you can capitalize on that.
Yeah.
It's just not.
That doesn't work out well.
Please fall on your face so we can do okay.
Sometimes it works, but the part that I don't like is you don't have control of your own destiny at that point.
Yeah.
You're relying upon other teams now to do your dirty work. And, the question that you had originally was, can the Blues be a playoff team when they're this inconsistent? Well, yeah. Have you looked at the teams behind them?
Right.
It's the same deal, man. Like
that's why they're wild card teams.
It is an absolute. It's crazy. Like the Minnesota Wild today, there were 17 goals in the game against Vancouver. They won
9-7 or something like that.
10-7.
They were getting trucked by Vancouver,
losing like 6-3 at one point.
They scored 3 goals in like 2 minutes in the third period.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened. 10-7 was the final score on this one. And then you'll have the Minnesota Wild like tomorrow night maybe, or the next game they play, lose 4-1 to somebody.
Yeah.
And so the Blues aren't alone on inconsistent island. The Predators, the Wild, the Kraken, the Flames, the Coyotes, I mean, they're in a nosedive now. They've lost 4 in a row, 8-1 in their last 10. Like, the wheels have fallen off at Mullet Arena. And they were up 3-2 against Edmonton going into the third period. They'd have since given up 3 straight goals. Yeah. To fall behind 5-3. So then when you start reverse engineering this a little bit, you go to the Calgary Flames, who are 5 points behind the Blues, equal in games. But we already know that the Flames are going to be liquidating. Why? Because their top players and their unrestricted free agents have already said, we're not re-signing here. Mm-hmm. Or the plan right now is to not re-sign here. So you can't get to the deadline, hang on to these guys, get nothing for them, and lose them. And still quite possibly not make the playoffs. Your owner's going to be thrilled with that. We got no revenue from the playoffs, and we got no draft picks or young players for these guys that walked out the door. Hey, great job, guys. Thank you. Yeah, no, so Calgary Flames now, they're going to start to drop even more. Seattle Kraken, that's a team that's up and down and all around, too. I mean, the whole season for the Seattle Kraken's been all over the place. And the Minnesota Wild, we know how that worked. Their coach got fired. They had a little bit of a coach bump. Then they kind of fell into a hole, and now they're back. They're playing pretty good hockey, but still inconsistent. And the Predators, the same thing. They had lost a whole bunch of games before that game against the Blues. And now they win that game to stay right on track with the Blues. But they're all kind of doing the same thing right now, which leads me to believe, why can't we be a playoff team? Are they the best of those, 3 teams? Or those 4 teams? Themselves, Nashville, Wild, and the Kraken. Are they the best of the worst? Jamie, if I can, what night are we talking about? Okay, I guess that's fair. It's a good point. They might be the best team, and then they might be the worst team. Because depends on the day. If Seattle were to win, they are all within 2 points of the Blues, correct? Yeah. And so you really can't have any more days like you had today, or nights like you had a couple of days ago against the Predators. Like, you really have to show up and win. At least get 1 point. You cannot lose games. And I think that, for me, that's really frustrating. I mean, the Kings took them a while. They got there. It is. The Kings were able to pick up a big win over the weekend. This doesn't sound right. In Boston, which obviously they are now the number 1 wild card, as the Blues are the number 2. It's just, you can't afford, if your plans are, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Doug Armstrong does at the trade deadline. Where are they sitting, and what decision is made? Because I think that's going to be critical for the future of 2024, 23-24, and going forward. And there might be a tough decision for Army to where he makes a decision that isn't popular. Right. There might be a situation where he trades a player that could currently help this team get into the playoffs. And he may trade that player for a draft pick or a young player or whatever, or another player, a depth piece, and people might go berserk, but maybe that player's not in the long-term picture. Like, it's so hard to figure out sometimes, what exactly the path is to success. And the one thing that the GM and the coaching staff and all those guys know, they have more information than we do. Right. They just do. Mm-hmm. They're around these guys every day, in the dressing room, in the meetings and all that. Like, I have access to a lot, not that.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm never involved in the strategy. I'm never involved in the meetings. I'm not in the locker room. Like, I'm just not.
I'm sorry about that, buddy.
No, but, Anthony, like, people think that, the media's around all the time. They know what's up. No, you don't. You really don't know exactly everything that's going on. But the Blues have put themselves in a spot to where they've got to win some games here. If the Islanders coming in here on Thursday, that's a team that's right there with the Blues, too. They're all over the place. They've got a brand new head coach. They had a little bit of a coach spike there, but then they handed one back to the Rangers on the weekend. They were up 4-1, ended up losing that game in overtime. Mm-hmm. And you got the pesky Red Wings, and you have the Jets and then the Oilers to finish out the month of February. So it's tough. And I'm not even going to get into March because there's an absolute gauntlet in March when they get going out to the East Coast, when they play all the New York teams and Philly and all that stuff. But yeah, you really don't have time or the opportunity to have games that are inconsistent, that don't help you.
And the other aspect of this is what part of the season do you want to talk about? Because the special teams were awful early on. The power play was awful early on. Then they had that stretch, and Jamie, you had a lot of the numbers about how much they had turned things around from a special team standpoint. The power play, if you look at it in a certain sample, was outstanding. So what version of the Blues do we want to discuss right now? Because you could go either way. You could say they have the elements to be a wild card and a team that could, depending on the matchup, upset the apple cart. Then you could talk about it to a team that, no, I don't think they're a playoff team. It's
so
that maddening.
That's frustrating. Give me one or the other.
Yeah,
it's
one or the other.
Look, here's what I can tell you: that there's one group that can solve the problem. That's the players.
Yep.
That's it, because I watch the practices and the games, and I hear what Drew Bannister and Steve Ott and Mike Weber are saying as coaching staff, and they're coaching the right way. They're coaching the right things, and then the players aren't always executing to the maximum of their potential. So it falls on the players. So if the players really want to make the playoffs, they'll make the playoffs. If they choose to have games like they have the last couple here where it's inconsistent and sometimes looks a little bit... what's the word I'm looking for?
Lethargic?
Yeah, lethargic or just uninvolved. Mm-hmm. If they want to do it that way, then they'll be sipping on margaritas again real soon.
Yeah.
Because the playoffs won't be anywhere in the picture.
Thursday night, the Blues take on the Islanders pregame starting at 6 o'clock right here on 101 ESPN. Is Mike Trout one of the last of the dying breeds of athletes? Kind of an interesting question posed by our guy Marshy. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
With over 2 decades of family ownership and operation, E&B Granite is St. Louis's trusted name in renovations for kitchens, bathrooms, and outdoor spaces. E&B Granite offers an extensive selection of customer countertops. They've got cabinets. They've got flooring that, for whatever your taste is, they've got you covered there. And all the different colors and the patterns and the styles. They are the best for a reason. And whatever is trendy right now, whatever you're looking for, I guarantee you that they have it. And as far as the countertops are concerned, they've got it on location, which is a tremendous asset because you can go into the back and you can see exactly what the pattern is on whether it's granite, whether it's soapstone, quartz. All of that stuff is available because E&B Granite has it on site. So please call ahead, book an appointment. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in there. That number is 314-645-9300. Again, that number is 314-645-9300, or you can always visit them at enbgranite.com.
Mike Trout one of the last of a dying breed of athlete? It's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter.
Not playing in the playoffs?
Oh, Jamie.
Well, that's what.
Come on.
Sorry.
No,
something.
Marsh, you posed this question to us because you saw the comments that Mike Trout made earlier today to the media, and that he doesn't want to leave Anaheim. He doesn't. He doesn't want to leave L.A., California, of Anaheim, San Diego, and he wants to be there. He wants to be with the Angels, and he wants to attract free agents. So, what do you mean by the last dying breed?
Yeah, we look at athletes nowadays. It seems like they want to create super teams and go to places that are easy to win. And Mike Trout, he's in a position where that team sucks. And he said the easy way out is just to ask for a trade. Mm-hmm. So, to me, this sort of goes back to what we saw previously in sports, where guys would stay in with one organization and try and build to eventually become a championship team. Nowadays, we just see guys, once they become free agents, they go either where the dollar is or they go to a team where it's easy to win.
Yeah, that's a good point, and he wants to stay in the same spot. He wants to be loyal to the team that drafted him, and I think, when you think of certainly guys like Adam Wainwright wasn't drafted by the Cardinals, but he grew up in this organization. Mm-hmm. Yachty certainly, he was here the entire time. I don't think we're going to see a lot of that.
Well, I think it's difficult. Most players want to win championships, and he had one of the greatest players to play the game on his team, and they were unable to have success. And now he's got another teammate who said he doesn't even love baseball, which is interesting. So I don't know how. I don't know. There's no reward for this, right? The ultimate goal. He's made all the money in the world. He's one of the greatest players to play the game. But to have that world champion attached to your name ultimately is, I'm sure, something that he wants.
Yeah.
But that means that they're going to have to put a roster around him and put people together, put some pieces together that help him win a championship.
Yeah. And the Angels have. I mean, let's just be fair here. They have spent money.
That's what they've done.
Exactly. The front office has tried to bring in.
The checkbook has tried.
Certainly.
I don't know how much effort the front office has put into building a proper team.
When you go back to Josh Hamilton and C.J. Wilson, these weren't the right fits at the end of the day. Anthony Rendon, we talked about him earlier. Baseball is about 42nd on his priority list.
Got a few things I like.
Depending on the day, it might be 97th. But they have spent, you're right, the checkbook has tried to surround Mike Trout. Now, they have never figured out the pitching, which has been their biggest issue. Why they haven't just said, hey, we're going to invest in drafting and developing young pitchers, I don't know. But it's not like they're the Pirates and they said to Andrew McCutchen, hey, do what you can, kid. We'll surround you with players, just not probably the players that you're going to want to be around.
He's probably past the age of waiting on the development of pitchers.
So that's where I'm at. It's like
Trout?
How old's Mike Trout? Like 32?
32. Yeah.
It's 32?
32.
Yeah, Mike, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're not getting a winner.
You're too old.
He is. He's too old. For the amount of time that it's going to take the Angels.
Well, I meant back in the day.
No, I'm talking about right now.
Well, I'm talking about back in the day.
That's fine. I'm talking about right now. Because Mike Trout is right now.
Anthony's talking about back in the day.
Back in the day.
But why would you not accept a trade somewhere at this point? Or just, I guess he's going to be the captain that goes down with the ship.
Yeah.
Because that's all that's going to happen is if they try to throw money at it again, even one of these free agent guys, let's say they go get Jordan Montgomery. What else? Like that's not getting you to the promised land. He's a good pitcher. He had a good season last year. All things are great. Good job.
But it's nice.
But what else? Yep. You just lost Shohei Ohtani. Like if you were really that serious about it, and Mike Trout was that serious about it, they would have sat down and made it work. Like whatever it took to keep Shohei Ohtani an Angel.
Shohei must have felt like they had no chance of winning a championship.
Shohei Ohtani flat out said before the trade deadline, was it last year or the year before? He said, I want to play for a winner.
Yeah.
I want to play for a winner. And if that's here, great. If we can do great. But if it's not, I want to play for a winner.
Yeah.
If I'm the owner and I'm looking at Mike Trout and I'm looking at Shohei Ohtani, one who's a unicorn.
Yes.
Nobody's ever seen that before. And the other guy who's one of the best players in the game, he certainly was at one point. I'm going out there and I'm saying, okay, he's told me now all I have to do is build a winner. I'm going to go build a winner.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. He's, we got Anthony Rendon.
Sorry.
He doesn't even like baseball.
Doesn't even like his teammates. I don't know that.
In fairness to Anthony Rendon, he said baseball's never been my top priority. He didn't say that he didn't like baseball.
It means he has other priorities that he likes more.
And I'm speculating that there's a lot of things
I'm
that
sure.
that he likes more.
He 50. I think it was 58 games, 47 in the last 3 years.
Yeah, he's played.
How many games they play in baseball?
162
a year.
Yeah, it's about 50 games a year for the last 3. Let's see, 2020.
You know what? I'm not even angry at him anymore.
Year? We don't want to count that one.
I'm not even angry at it anymore, guys. He's got it figured out.
58. He's going down.
We're all jealous.
58, 47, 43. The last
35 this year.
Yep. Yeah, I give you 20% of the season.
What a gross.
As long as the check clears.
Gross contract.
Where do you guys think Mike Trout fits in? When his career is over, will he be in the conversation with Dan Marino?
Totally.
The guys that didn't win a championship, they were the best at the sport. Or will he be maybe like Ray Bourque, who wins late in his career, only wins one?
Where did Ray Bourque win the Stanley Cup?
Colorado.
That's right. And he was his whole career?
In Boston.
That's right. So if Mike Trout is going to become Ray Bourque, he's going to have to go somewhere else.
Go to Colorado.
I don't think the Rockies are winning, guys. This reminds me of Dame Lillard.
He's probably not going to win one either.
No, but I mean, Dame stayed. He stayed in Portland for so long.
It's only so much you can do, man. At some point, you got to cut ties.
But
and
he was
say,
hellbent.
I've done everything I can for everyone here, and I've worked in good faith. I've done my job to the best of my ability. I am a future Hall of Famer, a multi-time MVP. I've done what you asked me to do. Now do what I've asked you to do. And if you're unable, but he's stubborn in that regard. He doesn't want to move on, and he feels like it can happen there. And it might not.
It's not. No, I think he's got a better shot with the Rockies, quite frankly. It's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
In that division?
Okay. It's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have our biggest question of the day next.
Are you looking to save money on your car or your home insurance? Well, Allstate and the Bibb Agency, they have got you covered. With Allstate and Tracy Bibb, you're going to get that personal attention from your agent that you need, because odds are that if you're needing your insurance agent, something has gone wrong. And those are stressful moments, and we don't always have all the information. And so we call our agent. Well, I used to do the same thing. Call a 1-800 number and get somebody who had no idea no idea about my account or about me and my family, my policies. Would have to be on the phone for 10 to 15 minutes just to figure out where we're at. And by that point, they didn't have the answers. They have to transfer me somewhere else and have to start all over again. It's a stressful process. And you know right now, sitting around, driving around your car, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Take that out of your life. Call Tracy Bibb. Get a free non-committal quote. Her number is 314-328-4260. That's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues played earlier today and lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2 the final. They'll be back in action on Thursday taking on the New York Islanders. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
That's right. Time for the biggest question of the day. What do you got for us, Marsh?
All right, gentlemen. When we were talking about Nolan Arenado, Nolan Arenado.
There it is. Nice
When we
job.
were talking about Nolan Arenado earlier in the show, we had some people texting in saying that this is actually Ollie's problem and that he has a leadership problem. So I had a question for you guys. How much does leadership fall on the manager, and can a young manager manage older players?
Well, I talked to you about it earlier. Mike Tomlin's first year, there were players on our team that were older than him, and they had just been off of a championship run. They won a championship in 2005. He got there in 2007. So 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl. He didn't have many problems in terms of gathering that locker room and making sure everyone was held accountable. We did a lot of things that I think as older players are like, oh, this is too much. We didn't have, this is before we had rule limits on how many padded practices you could have, because we were in pads every day. And no, he didn't care. It kind of set the tone for what every day in training camp, 2 days of practice, we were full pads. Every day during the season, we were in. It was madness, but it set the tone, and he made sure that everybody understood that he was the captain of the ship, and we all kind of got in line. And so it's possible. I don't necessarily blame Ollie for the things that have taken place. We talked about it with the firing of Craig Berube. Players have to play. Your coaches do their job. They put in all these hours. They put in all this work to prepare you for the game. Come game time, The coach is not on the field. He does not take one at bat. He does not throw one pitch. He does not field one ball. It is not his job to perform on game day. It is the players. And so we saw it with the St. Louis Blues. Those players weren't performing on game day. We've seen it the last couple of games. You talked about it earlier. Drew Bannister and his coaches are saying, hey, do this. And you watch it, they're not doing that. You're like, well, what the hell are you doing? So for me, there is a lot of ownership that belongs on the players. They have to step up and do their job.
I agree, but the manager / coach, all of them, everybody has a part in it. And I'm not behind closed doors for the clubhouse to the St. Louis Cardinals. I don't know how things went down. From what I understand, Ollie is a pretty stand-up guy, and Ollie speaks his mind pretty freely in that clubhouse. And this is just from people that have been nice enough to share information, but Ollie's a part of it too. I mean, just like anything else, it's not all on the manager, but he has a slice of the pie.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you got the players, you've got like the front office, you've got the ownership, you have so many pieces that make the full equation that, yes, the manager / coach has a piece of the pie in this one, and it's up to them to keep things going in the right direction. And maybe part of the going in the right direction, it's not so much just guys like Arenado and Goldie talking to Mo about, finding some other guys that are leadership or some sandpaper. You don't think Ollie's had those discussions with Mo? If players are having that talk with the front office, the manager has absolutely had those same talks. And the manager should carry more weight than what the players are.
Right.
So when the players reiterate what the manager is talking about, or even vice versa, maybe Mo talked to the players, and then Ollie comes in at the end of the year in the meetings and is like, hey, we need to change. Now Mo goes, okay, I have at least some star players and my manager that are on the same page. I need to get them some help in this department. So, yeah, I think everybody shares the praise and the blame, depending on what the situation is.
Yeah, I mean, you have to put some of this on Ollie, absolutely. He has that title. He has manager. He's somebody that not everybody faces the media before and after every game, but Ollie does. Not every player does.
Right.
Ollie does. You go to the media. You're part of the face of this organization. So absolutely, there is a lot on his plate. He can only do so much. He's got to empower his players. He can't be the guy that goes in every day and flips over the clubhouse spread as much as some fans want him to, or any manager for that matter, because we fans were passionate about every game. And we want our players and our managers and our coaches to be passionate about every game. And they are to a degree. But they're not going to be flipping over the spread, screaming at the players every single day. You guys played. How would that go over if your coach did that consistently? He tuned his ass out after a while.
You start to think he's an idiot.
So,
I'm being honest.
No, you're right. You're right. It's like, oh, this is
idiot mad at me.
This is for theatrics. So, I agree with Jamie in that Ollie is responsible because a lot of it stops with him. But there's help that's needed at the professional level. He's not making anywhere near what some of these players are making. So the players have to take accountability as well and understand how to best lead from their standpoint too. I don't think it's all Ollie's fault though, like some fans make it out to be. Like everything, it's all Ollie.
No, it's not. It starts with the acquisition of players too. Whether it's the draft, trading, or free agent signings, whatever it is, that's really where it starts.
Correct.
How do you build your team? Well, with players. Right. Oh, so we should go get players. Yeah. And you have to make sure that you're doing it with the right plan in place. So the Cardinals have failed at the international signings for a long time now.
Yes.
That would be one area I would have tried to address this year. I would have taken a shot at an international signing somewhere this season just to prove a point. Maybe throw that extra cheddar here a little more. Is the player worth it? I don't know. We're gonna find out. But we need to start integrating into this space because we hold nothing in this space.
Right.
So as the front office or ownership, you look to always continuously add the right pieces, and then you hand those pieces off to the manager. and the manager takes those and puts them in the best way he can possibly do it to win baseball games, football games, hockey games, whatever. And then your leadership group, and it works its way down.
Yeah.
So that's the way you have a successful team is the blueprint, which is the players, making sure you have the right players, and then let the manager do his job in coaching those players.
Correct. It all starts at the top. And you have to, as Jamie said, sign the right players that fit your culture, that have the work ethic that you are requiring, and obviously the skill set, because they don't have the skill set. I don't give a damn how hard you work. That's nice. Can you play?
Right.
So can they play? Do they have the work ethic? Do they have the team mindset that we are going for? And then hiring the coaches that put in place and make sure that everybody is all filtering the same message all the way down to the last man on the team, the 26th man or the 53rd man on an NFL roster. Making sure every person has that message and we're all in alignment in what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. If that message is skewed at some point down the line, it's not going to work. And if it's skewed at the top, from ownership to management, and from the manager, the coaches to the team, then you're really not going to have a good team. So I don't blame Ollie for all of this. I think that's their scapegoat. But this team stunk last year. The players stunk last year. Again, Ollie didn't throw
miss the pitches.
He didn't throw one pitch, man. I watched every game.
He may have thought about it.
He might have. He might have said, I could do better than this. It can't be much worse. But he didn't throw
It's like
one
Jackie
pitch.
Moon.
Yes.
He's going to do it himself.
Might as well.
But the last thing I'll say about it, too, is everybody looks at the manager. There's a staff that goes with it. So Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, he has a staff.
Correct.
And if he has a couple of pieces in the staff that aren't the right pieces, that also reflects upon the games, the players, the coach.
No doubt.
So, maybe the staff last year wasn't the greatest staff for Ollie as well. Maybe there was some friction somewhere. I don't know this to be true. But obviously they made some changes. They added some pieces. They added some pieces to the front office, too. So maybe all of that, too. Let's not forget that plays a part in it. So when we want to just blame the manager, quite honestly, the manager is just one little piece of the equation. Mm-hmm. There's so many other things going around that you should be paying attention to that it can't just focus on the one guy.
Give you some updates here so everybody knows the Blues fell today to the Maple Leafs 4-2.
No.
Right away, out of nowhere, too.
They didn't do anything to you. But
yeah.
I guess.
No, they did do something to me.
What did they do? They didn't.
It upset me.
Come on, Anthony. You have Alec Burleson hitting BP down in spring training, and you want to tell people that the Blues lost their second game in a row when it really matters at this time of the year?
Is he in the best shape of his life?
Yeah, I believe so.
He's in shape.
He's in the best shape.
You don't want to tell people that Jordan Walker moved his front foot a few inches ahead?
Looking
New batting
good.
stance?
Swinging. Launch angle is definitely at the angle we needed to be at.
Put one over right center field today.
You don't even need a protractor.
We were talking about launch angle all last year, and I finally saw the launch angle that I preferred. It was not good enough last year where we obviously had to send down. But the launch angle in Jupiter right now, watch that thing go. It's going to be amazing to see Jordan Walker at the plate this year. Trust me. You don't have to see it. Just trust me. I've seen it.
Apparently, as legend has it, when he hit that one over right center wall today, a young fan tried to jump up and catch it. And when he tried to catch it, it pulled the glove out of his hand and the youngster fell down.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Think of that velocity.
Yeah. Exit velocity, exit velo, launch angle, the combination.
Forget about it.
So like I was saying, the Kraken did get a point, but lost to the Red Wings in overtime 4-3. The Winnipeg Jets were up 3-1 in the first period against Calgary. They lost 6-3. Coyotes, not that we don't have to update you on the Coyotes, but they did lose 6-3. Golden Knights beat the Sharks 4-0. Minnesota beat Vancouver 10-7. 10-7.
10-7.
That's a lot of points.
Minnesota scored 7 of those 10 goals in the third period. The Bruins beat the Stars in a shootout 4-3. So your updated wild card standings, the Blues still hold the second wild card at 60 points ahead of Nashville and Minnesota, who have 58 respectively, and Seattle, who has 57. So there you have it. So it wasn't all bad. You guys just jumped to conclusions like you normally do. Get that jump to conclusion that out. Oh, stop it, Jamie. Bet the board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms and compliments. Here's a compliment for Jamie and a crap sandwich for Carey. Carey helped Jamie.
That's right.
On Friday in Bet the Board. We'll update you next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, the NBA is full of great opportunities for you to get on FanDuel and place your bets. But right now, the NBA has the no-sweat same-game parlay.
What's that, Jamie?
Well, it's what FanDuel's offering for every Thursday games with TNT. They call them TNT Thursdays. Doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you already have an account. You'll get bonus bets back, easy for me to say, if your same game parlay doesn't win on any NBA on TNT game.
Yeah, Jamie, NBA same game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance to score a bigger payday. Maybe you want to go over in points by a player, the rebounds by an Anthony Davis or Karl Anthony Towns. They might not get a lot of rebounds, but he could. However you want to play, just head to FanDuel.com/fast to bet the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay with TNT Thursdays.
And then you can make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Whether you have a big project, like maybe overhauling your kitchen, or a small project, like, I don't know, maybe you got a small powder room or something like that, and you're tired of looking at it, it's completely outdated, well, call my friends at Mosby Building Arts. One of the things that I love about Mosby is that they have everything in-house. And when I say everything in-house, I mean they have electricians in-house, plumbers in-house. They are not contracting out to a million different companies so that the price keeps going up for you. The price that they give you is the price that you get, and they do it right the first time. You don't have to worry about your project going sideways because the cabinets weren't in or the countertops weren't in on time, and all of a sudden you're displaced for 7 months because there's some sort of back order. They wait until all your materials are in, they house them right there at Mosby, and then they get to work. So give Mosby a call at 314-909-1800 or visit them at callmosby.com and get your project done right the first time with Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. All brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board here in the Fast Lane. This is where we select one game a night, and we compete for our representative listener. Marsh, why don't you update us on those standings, kid?
All right, I'll start from the back of the pack. That would be me. I'm 3-8. Shout out to the Detroit Red Wings for giving me a victory this weekend. In third place, actually tied, Jamie and Carey are 5-6, and then Anthony, you are the leader, 6-5.
Yeah.
Wow.
That happened.
I started off this.
Reeling you in, baby.
I started off the month 0-3. Yeah, so had a bit of a turnaround here.
Like it. What are you,
All
6 and 5?
I'm 6-5.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Iowa State, Houston. I'm going to college basketball tonight.
Who isn't?
You got two NHL games. Both are massive favorites, Carolina and Tampa Bay. Not a lot of college, no NBA, so it's slim pickings as we were finding out during the break. But I like the over tonight. Over is 131.5. That total opened up at 128.5, so it's already jumped 3 points here. So I'm going to follow the line movement. I'm looking at some of these trends, and the over has been hitting pretty consistently in previous Houston and Iowa State games. So give me the over, 131.5 for Iowa State Houston.
All right. Well, is it on me or you?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll go.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to see what you think. See
The
if you can help me
Senators
with.
and the Tampa Bay
There we
Lightning
go,
are playing
baby.
tonight. Andre Vasilevsky, over 27.5 saves is minus 112. I'm going to go under.
He saw Jamie's face. He saw Jamie's face. I think he made a switch up.
Minus 112 as well.
But was I misleading him?
He might have been.
I don't think so.
He might have been.
How many saves?
Under 27.5.
I think that's a good play, man.
That's a good. I like it.
I almost went Tampa Bay on the puck line.
Ottawa doesn't do well.
Yeah. All right, Jamie.
I'm going to the Chicago Blackhawks Carolina Hurricanes game.
Taking the old Blackhawks, huh? Plus 300. Marsh, go ahead and write them down.
Well, one thing I would never do is ever take the Blackhawks.
We'll see about
But
that.
I am going to take Tyler Johnson to record 2 or more shots on goal tonight. He's at minus 114 for that. He plays on the power play, so should get that opportunity.
All right,
Tyler
Marsh.
Johnson, 2 plus shots on goal.
All right, I'm looking at the Carolina-Chicago game. I'm going to take the under 5.5. I know it sounds a little risky, but the last time these two teams played each other, Carolina won 3-0.
Yeah, but Connor Bedard wasn't playing that game.
I think they win 4-1 tonight, Marsh. Nice
Thank
pick.
you. Thank you very much.
What? I called the Red Wings winning tonight, didn't I?
No, did you?
Yeah.
You said, I hope.
Good job.
I said 2-1, though. All right, what do we got for criticisms, compliments?
Well, we're running out of time here, so I think we should just get straight to the 3 stars of the day.
Well, that's our criticism. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
Bad clock management.
Bad clock management.
Oh, Mike McCarthy over
by
here.
Hey, you know what?
Kyle Shanahan.
It's been a long day. We've been here for a full 4 hours.
No, not really.
Oh, that's right. All right, so our third star of the day, because baseball is his third priority, or maybe, goes to Anthony Rendon.
Nice job,
Congratulations.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Our second star of the day goes to Steven Matz for not having to worry about being in the rotation. Allegedly, according to us.
Couple of guys.
Well,
Don't
3 of
put
us.
me.
That's true, Carey. You were defending him with your life.
Carey cut our closer.
And our first star of the day goes to our Gauntlet winner, Willie.
Nice job,
He took down Anthony.
Willie.
Yes.
Yeah, got me in the old tiebreaker. Nice job, Willie. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody tuned in today. We have instant replay. I think it's Soccer 101 tonight at 6 o'clock. So got the instant replay coming up. Blues off until Thursday night when they take on the Islanders. You can listen to the pregame right here at 6 o'clock on 101 ESPN. We're on tomorrow back at our normal time at 2 o'clock. We got a small break at the end of the show. We're on until 5:45 because there's some college basketball, but pretty much a full show tomorrow. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We appreciate everybody listening and watching throughout the course of the day today. Have a great night, everybody. See ya.